Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today I have a pretty exciting but also kind of not so exciting video all in once. You'll know once I get through the video. And today we actually have a little video on the two super elusive, possibly the most elusive candles out there on BBW like right now. And those are the two other Ingredients Plus candles of Coffee and Tonka are right here. So that's what that looks like, and it has the marble lid. And these are $29.50. That came from the test store that did have these with the marble lid. Whereas, as you know, the ones that made them wide had the silver lid on it, and these were $26.50. And then we also have Patchouli and Rosewood as well, and that's what that looks like right there. And so the reason that I have these is that I have a friend that is also a candle fanatic, possibly even more of a fanatic than I am, because they actually went out and got these candles on Mercari. They were just so curious about the candles, and I'm lucky enough to be able to also smell them as well and make a video on it. So I was like, well, why don't I borrow these candles for a hot minute and do a video on it just to get the word out there as to what these candles smell like. So as you know, Ingredients Plus came out a little while back. There was coconut vetiver that we had right here. I was not a huge fan of this. There was also bergamot and birch, and the blue one, and then there was also vanilla santal, which I believe was a repackage, or not a repackage, but a dupe of some Le Labo fragrance. And there was a yuzu and sea salt that actually never got produced whatsoever, even though I believe there was a photo for it on the store sheets, but we never actually even got an official product image for it, and that one was never actually produced, so we never actually even saw that one. But of course, Coffee and Tonka was the one that we're most excited for, and I was looking all over for that one, and obviously I couldn't find it, but we have it on Mercari from the men's shop test store, so that's what we have here. So I was kind of thinking maybe because vanilla santal was a high-end dupe fragrance, and coconut and vetiver also kind of smells like something that could maybe be a high-end fragrance, and I think bergamot and birch, somebody was saying, was a cologne fragrance that could also be a dupe from some other designer fragrance, that maybe these will also follow suit and be designer fragrances as well. And that could be the case for one of them, but not so much with the other one. So without further ado, let me get into it. We have Coffee and Tonka, and so that's what that looks like. I was like, oh my god, we can finally smell this one in person and figure out what it is. It's roasted coffee beans, rich cinnamon, and dark Tonka bean. And just as a refresher, we do have Paris Cafe, which is rich roasted coffee, sugared brioche, and vanilla creme. We also have the cinnamon spice vanilla plus Paris Cafe blend that just came out for SAS, which is rich roasted coffee, vanilla creme, ground cinnamon, and sugar crystal. So this one also has the cinnamon note that Coffee and Tonka is alluding to. And then we also have Coffee and Whiskey right here, which is the new fragrance. But this one doesn't actually smell a whole lot like coffee. It's more like a mature body care fragrance. And this one's bold Irish whiskey, splash of vanilla, and a hint of coffee. So it is not this right off the bat. So after smelling Coffee and Tonka, oh my god, we've been so had on this fragrance, I can't even. This is truly 100% Paris Cafe. I don't think I even need to light it to be able to figure it out. And I'm not going to light it because it's not mine anyways. It even has the same curling wicks and everything. This is one of those where, as soon as you, open the package and, you smell the candle, there's only, one candle from BBW that is, usually so strong that you can smell it even without the lid open, and that sounds very familiar to how Paris Cafe operates. And, all I had to do was just go like this, and I was like, oh my god, all I smell is Paris Cafe. And you know how strong Paris Cafe is on cold, has the same curling flat wicks as well. And you smell it, and it's 100% Paris Cafe. I was like, I can't believe how freaking duped we were that Coffee and Tonka is Paris Cafe, and to think that, thankfully not me, my friend spent, much over full retail price for this candle just to get a very, expensively priced Paris Cafe through Mercari is, such a bummer, or just a womp womp moment. But yeah, there's no denying it. This is just straight up Paris Cafe. It's that same super bold, bold roasty coffee beans fragrance, brewing in a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts, mixed with that little bit of a salty, bakery, sugared brioche note is mixed in there as well. And a lot of times, if you look up what Tonka bean is supposed to smell like, it usually says it's supposed to be reminiscent of a slightly spicy vanilla fragrance. And so a lot of times Tonka bean will be substituted for something that might be a little bit more of a higher end vanilla. So the vanilla creme that's in here is, Tonka in here. So I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe of all fragrances, they would put Paris Cafe in an Ingredients Plus collection that's otherwise supposed to be like more higher end fragrances, but Coffee and Tonka is just usual basic Paris Cafe. It just totally doesn't make sense. And then the friend was also saying there is cinnamon in here, so like maybe we can compare it to this. But when you go to smell this, this is so strong and distinctly that cinnamon spice vanilla, cinnamon sugar donut, like churros fragrance that it's not this. This is very, very heavy on like cinnamon spice vanilla. This is just 100% Paris Cafe. So we were like all on mad hunt to look for this, going on Mercari, and I think some people were saying they found it in their like random store in Texas or something. And it just turns out it's just legit just Paris Cafe. So what a bummer. I think this goes down as being one of the most deceptive repackages this year, along with Paradise Cove being flannel. And also that whole Fido Gaia collection that's out now of the like Vanilla Birchwood Trail thing in the Apple Weather being Apple Orchard Lane. You know, that whole thing is just very deceptive repackaging again. Same with Wildflower Meadows having been pink, lilac, and vanilla. But in terms of this year, I think Paradise Cove being flannel and then Coffee and Tonka being Paris Cafe are like the two most super deceptive repackages. And I'm just like, it's just like mind blown that they would do that. But yes, so fear not if you couldn't get your hands on this. This is just nothing but Paris Cafe that you can get for like 10, 11, 12 bucks during Candle Day and any regular candle promo. So don't go searching for this one because it's just legit just Paris Cafe. So that was Coffee and Tonka right there. Super like happy and satisfied to get it out of my system, but I do feel bad for the friend who paid like way over asking price or way over retail price to get this candle. But at least thanks to their sacrifice, we can finally get it out of our system as to what it smells like. And then so that now brings us on to Patchouli and Rosewood right here, and that's what that looks like. And this one is Patchouli Flowers, Pink Pepper, and Exotic Rosewood. This one has the thick rope-like wicks, and that's what that looks like right there. This one's interesting. It's probably actually my favorite out of all the ones in the collection. It's very much like a higher end, like a rose type fragrance is what I get from it. It's actually kind of similar to Dark Velvet Oud, which was a test fragrance, so not a lot of people probably smelled this one. But this one was dried raspberries, white musk, and oud. But this one had heaps of rose in it. This one's a little bit more powdery and a little bit more perfumey, and a little bit more floral and just like feminine and just awesome, which is what I really enjoy about this one. And a full like talked about this candle in the initial haul that I did. But you get that sort of like berry sweetness of the raspberry in there. It's kind of like a into the night type of fragrance, but less heavy on the patchouli, and a little bit heavier on the rose, and just like that perfumey, like quintessential rose perfume fragrance is very much in here, kind of like the Rose Noir and Oud from Nest type of fragrance. So it's not this, but probably the most similar to this. We also have Fireside Rose, which also has cedarwood, sparkling rosewater, and patchouli. So you can see this one has rose and patchouli, and this one's patchouli and rosewood, so kind of similar there. It's not this either. This is way heavier on the actual patchouli note. It's kind of like dirty and grimy, which is what I really liked about this one. Yeah, and it wasn't really heavy on the rose either. Kind of similar to the Cacao Rose Aromatherapy fragrance. But this one's still a little bit more smoky and heavy on the patchouli that I never really enjoyed. But it's not this either. This is a new fragrance, at least for BBW, but I would suspect that maybe this is indeed another designer high-end fragrance dupe. I feel like I've kind of smelled this somewhere else. But you definitely get a rose fragrance in there. A little bit of a patchouli woodsiness, but there's still enough of that sweet kind of like rose fragrance in there that leans it a little bit more like perfumey, but it's also a little bit more like neutral in the sense that there's like a woodsy patchouli fragrance grounding it down, along with I guess that pink pepper note in there. But yeah, this is very much like a kind of like a neutral rose unisex high-end fragrance that I feel like it's probably a dupe of something high-end. It's nice. It's probably like a one and done for me. I think if this made it wide, I would have probably bought this one first versus anything else. But past that, I don't think I need it like past that. Obviously, I can't review it on a burn or anything like that because it's not mine, but on cold sniff impressions, that's what this smells like. It's nice, but it's nothing like hoard worthy, and it's just like in the same vein of like those higher end, slightly more woodsy, earthy fragrances that we got in the rest of the collection. So that was Patchouli and Rosewood right there. And yes, those were the last two like elusive Ingredients Plus candles. I'm so excited to like finally get out of my system. So thank you for the friend for sharing these with me to be able to do a video. It's interesting that these got like a marble lid on it. Kind of just, I don't know if they necessarily match. It makes it very heavy. I feel like the the like white matte lid probably looks the best on it. Like that looks really nice and just sleek, and I love how like the matteness of that sort of like blends into the matteness of the white there. That just looks very simple and sleek and much better than the silver, and I think it's actually even better than like the bulky honkin' marble lid right there. But yes, so that is pretty much it. Coffee and Tonka is just Paris Cafe, just like what the hell, but it is what it is. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I think that's pretty much it. Let me know your comments down below as to if you're whether or not you think this is very deceptive, or you know what your thoughts are on Coffee and Tonka just being Paris Cafe. Let me know all in the comments down below, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.